Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Earth Spirit.
Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Disruptor.
Dire team pick.
And welcome back, fourth best of one here from our stream. I'm Gareth, joined by Gods. White Fries up against Signature.Trust, and things are honestly heating up pretty much in the Southeast Asian qualifiers. So tiebreakers likely, but between which teams?
5 seconds.
Anyone, like
All of them.
tiebreakers for 5th, 6th, like 5th place. If there's ties for like 4th, 5th, 6th, so
Like
you
for
get
first
in,
place.
ties for first. You know, there's no tiebreakers by some miracle. I'll be very surprised. But these two of the teams trying to get into the top 5. They're unlikely / cannot get first, I want to say, but both are in a position where they can get top 5. I think both of them are like just on the outskirts, like number 6, or maybe like 5th, 6th, 7th kind of area. It's so close, like you can't even really like start speculating over the different scenarios because most teams still have 2, even 3 games left to play. So see how the Dota unravels.
Well, Trust coming straight off the back of a best of one loss to Fnatic, but White Fries, you know, they came through up on qualifiers. These players have been around for quite some time. You know, Pelosin played with Miracle on FD for a long old time. HY and KOXY though, they've got a bit of a history behind them.
Back? Well, HY is back. KOXY has been around. He's had a little China expedition with Thunder Robot Gaming. When Thunder Robot Gaming were actually kind of okay, they suck now. They're like in DPL, because DPL is like a 22 team round robin. They have 1 tie and like 15 losses.
Oh dear.
Absolutely abysmal. And when you see them play, you're just like, what? But 290 was also in Thunder Robot Gaming. So basically, the KYXY and 290 left and joined this team. So this is like the ex-Thunder Robot Gaming guys meets HY.
And Chisbug played with ZSMJ, and you know he's a veteran as well. But draft so far, Wisp Beastmaster taken out as well as the Tide and the Void, and I'm gonna see an Earth Spirit along with the Death Prophet so far. A lot of focus on that mid lane for them, but White Fries, name of the game is Displacement as well as Slardar with that initiation.
And these two heroes always work well together with the amp damage, giving you the vision for the glimpse back. So I like seeing these two heroes picked up in tandem. But Earth Spirit for Jabs, this guy is a beast. He's impressed me a number of times when playing it. Ricky was good. I mean, I feel like I never like look at Jabs and be like, oh, he didn't really do all that much. He's really good on this Sig.Trust team, but need to see some of the other players step up. I don't think just picking super carry for Lakels is necessarily going to be the answer.
It was like you said when the draft ended in the previous game. Lakels is always like a very solid player. He'll farm and get his items. He's efficient and he's good like that. But in this day and age, it's not just about that one-dimensional. Being very good in one area of the game. You do have to be diverse in knowing when to farm, when to fight. Your movements have to be good across the map, and you have to join your team sometimes. So it'd be nice to see Lakels maybe maybe being a little more active, give him that Spectre potentially, so he can move across the map. The Morphling is, obviously in his wheelhouse as well. But I don't know if Trust revert back to something like the Gyrocopter. It's something that they have played for a number of years for Lacels if they do feel they need that extra bit of mid-game power.
I think hero side as well. Like there's it's worth talking about his hero, but they need to play more around Micro. Whereas last game was all about let's sit behind Lacels on Duso, let's protect him, let's get him to the late game. Whereas when I've seen Signature.Trust doing well, it's when they've had Micro setting the tempo. His Death Prophet and Dragon Knight are probably his two most influential heroes. Where I've seen Signature. I feel like you go to look at Signature.Trust wins, and probably 80% of them he's been on Death Prophet or DK. Like these are his bread and butter. And seeing them with Death Prophet gives me a much bigger kind of boost in confidence as to how Signature.Trust can do in this game.
Yeah, it's that tempo setting, the ability to kind of push into towers. I mean, Vipro is on the DK, one of the first players to really start abusing that Blink Dagger into Dragon Tail stun. But this game, unfortunately, White Fries in their second pick phase here are looking towards the mid lane matchup. Of course, they know what they'll be up against, the Earth Spirit DP, so you could feasibly look towards your mid lane hero there. What they've been favouring for their heroes?
I don't know. I haven't actually. Invoker's that's
straight away.
Let's say burst damage against Death Prophet's good, and Invoker is the one kind of meta hero that's still in the pool with burst damage. But I haven't seen what they've been playing that much because there's been so many games on, 3 games at once, and unfortunately White Fries have gone a bit under the radar. The one of the kind of dark horses, I think they're currently 3 wins, 3 losses. They're coming off a win against TNC. We're talking about TNC after their big win against WG, like, against, they're like, okay, this is the team to look out for who's going to make a big run and do really well, but now it's kind of like, well, White Fries just took a game off them, now they're in the 2-loss group, because they were previously the only team with 1 loss still in the SA qualifier, so White Fries got to feel a bit of boost in confidence and have some momentum off of that win.
That's what's been kind of weird about the C qualifiers, right? Is that it's not just the top pack that's beating the bottom pack, but Towering are taking games off WG, and then teams are taking games off TNC. It's still kind of back and forth. There's no clear up and down for these teams. But the Vengeful Spirit going to be the saving hero there for DP if she does get a little bit over her head in terms of positioning when pushing into these tier 1s. Always very useful to have, as you've got that Earth Spirit with the aggressive plays in laning stage, but having that Dazzle or DP or the Oracle was of course banned out. One of Boombell's better heroes at utilizing that with the Death Prophet for sure. While White Fries, I mean, picking your safe lane this early on is be a little bit risky, so secondary support we're looking for here. Do you try and match the Earth Spirit in roaming power with the Ricky, with the Bounty or something like that, or something, the Elf Titan?
Yeah, it's roaming, strong in lane. Can help out the offlane. It was the ET slider that I mentioned earlier that Secret did with Puppy and Bulba that just wrecked the safe lane. So ET is very flexible. He can go mid, secure the mid lane by throwing spirits and stomping here and there. He can go off lane, can secure your safe lane. This is similar to what the Earth Spirit does, but even a bit more potent as far as how much damage and how much kill potential this hero has early on.
And how about Trust now?
You see ET, I don't think that it does deter you from picking some carries like the Terrorblade. I think Terrorblade would have been a great pick for Signature.Trust, but then you see the ET and like, it's still possible, but having a hero that can just take away that huge 20 base armor or whatever, something ridiculous that you get, makes it not quite as strong.
There are like no offlane heroes left though, right? Void, Tide, Darkseer, Beastmaster all taken away.
Yeah.
Trust have limited options remaining.
Darkseer also got banned, yeah. What is...
Do we revert back to Phoenix? Like Phoenix offlane's pretty trash against Disruptor.
Don't think you want to do that. Who are the Iron Taloners left in the ball? Night Stalker? But you rather something maybe a bit more team fighty around than Death Prophet. Like Death Prophet Night Stalker to me is kind of meh. You would rather have a Tide or a Beastmaster.
We used to see
some
Nyx
hard
Max.
lockdown.
Oh,
Nyx is good.
I'm gonna say
They
Nyx
go in
Max.
Death Prophet, you can draw attention away with the Blink Call, and then Death Prophet can scurry away.
Kind of the last one remaining really there for them.
It doesn't particularly do anything amazing against the White Fries gaming draft. Like it doesn't counter any hero. It doesn't have like a really easy lane by any means.
It was
like,
the best of the rest, really.
Yeah, it's just it's an initiator. It's a hero that can also protect the Death Prophet to some extent.
Both teams looking for their safe lane carries. Juggernaut, Lifesteal are both taken out by Trust themselves. Of course, if you're against Trust, you're kind of looking towards those Lacels heroes. We were mentioning them. The Gyrocopter could work nicely here with the early game tempo set by the DP, but block something they feel they couldn't really handle.
I like the idea of Gyrocopter. It's kind of like a you can't counter this kind of carry, but it's also like a carry that doesn't blow me away. But at the same time, I think when your opponents have that final pick, you want to be careful about what you go to. It's active, it's a bit on the greedier side, so it kind of suits the Kells where it can be active while also farming.
It's like we were saying in the intro, you know, trying to deviate away from the one-dimensional just farming hero for the kills. Give him a little bit of leeway there to actually join the rest of his team and fight through this.
And Spectre's nice because you don't have to play around the Spectre specifically. The other 4 heroes go look for a fight, and Spectre plays around you. When you find initiation, Spectre's there to follow you up.
And how do Whiteflies deal with this? We used to see, you know, Juggernaut against Spectre, but he's banned out.
Oh, there you go. Question. You want more damage to deal with Death Prophet, try Burster down, and Spectres, there's a tanky heroes.
No one really abuses the minus armor from ET or Slardar just yet, so you're looking for a real good hard hitter, but I'm just wondering if it's going to be a melee carry or a ranged one.
It could be a Slardar safe lane, but then you're just like, what's the off-lane that's left? Not a whole lot. Morphling.
Okay. I mean, can right click, but also offers you that magic nuke damage against Death Prophet, especially pre-BKB onto her as well. The relocate, or replicate even, gives you the global map presence.
It's a greedy pick. You go Invoker already, when we saw the Invoker earlier today, where it's like, Invoker's a hero that doesn't leave lane, doesn't create space, unless it's Quas-Wex. But if you're going Exo Invoker with a Morphling, you're letting Signature.Trust take objectives, fight around the haunt, find kills, and really get a lot done. So I think, I don't know if Quas-Wex is necessarily better, but there's a lot of weakness to draft with the Exo Invoker. It's just Quas-Wex is also kind of like a really win you a game, or does it just give you giving you a stronger early mid game doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna win the game. If that Invoker doesn't scale, then because you're on Quas-Wex.
10 seconds remaining.
You may need to go Quas-Wex this game, I feel.
It does give you a nice time in lane against DP, the Ghost Walk to get away from the Earth Spirit rolling in as well.
Then you don't have the burst damage to kill off the Death Prophet later, so I mean, Quas-Wex has its problems. But I think I slightly favor Signature.Trust draft here.
Pelosin, smoke TP out. He was wondering where to place that observer board. He was like, right, guys, where do I go? Gets told by his team.
Yeah, I like this board. The sneaky little one and unlikely to be dewarded. More often than not, you see the sentry like smack dab in the middle or on the north side of that river if there is going to be one. And Arbor, Iron Talon, already making his intentions clear. Screw the off lane, I'm jungling.
Jungle Axe, there we go. So with these lanes and how they pan out, you know, Jabs again, the weight of the world on his shoulders almost. Gonna have to and control things off. Both these teams friendly with each other. We already saw in the lobby, you know, KYXY and Lakel's having a bit of a chat, saying hello to each other, and the good old 555 plus plus plus.
KYXY good friends with and he's been playing against these guys for such a long time.
Like
so he's
5,
been good
6,
friends
7
with
years or something like that. Maybe even more back into Dota 1 days.
Oh
even.
yeah, Dota 1 days. These guys were like top rivals, and all the SEA players and the old school SEA players just all know each other really well. So it's good to see some
friendly
friendship.
Rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely.
The battle begins.
Rune for rune, bounty, my pro. You know, mid Death Prophet. Lakel's down the bottom with a Spectre, bunch of tangos for her.
Oh, this is not a fun lane for Invoker though. Death Prophet's already annoying enough to lane against, but then there's an Earth Spirit.
And even an Axe, like once Axe hits, I do wonder if he goes with Battle Hunger level 2 build. So if he comes into lane with Spirit Siphon plus Battle Hunger plus Earth Spirit roll, Invoker has no way of escaping.
Yeah.
Even already, Jabs is rolling himself all the way across to the east. I'm not sure. I think he's trying to get a little bit faster towards HY Slardar down the bottom lane.
But yeah, the Iron Talon to me suggests Arbor's less likely to go Battle Hunger level 2 since you're going to be low HP and just looking to jungle farm. Yeah, it looks like Jabs just want to get bottom as early as possible. Whoa!
That was ambitious.
Zoning roll, don't worry.
Very
I was talking his Earth Spirit up during the draft, and now he's like off doing dubious things. But you got a Spectre, so I think securing your safe lane and just giving the Death Prop the 1v1 is fine for Signature.Trust.
Wow, they try and turn it back onto HY, and there's the roll finally connecting. He's got the crush to turn it back onto Lakel's. The damage output looks good with the Thunder Strike as well. And Lakel's is actually going to get taken over here, and he dies to first blood.
With the creep support. double range creeps, and I didn't get any Stout Shield procs on those range creeps as well. The Stout Shield was not friendly to him. That is
A sad start for the Spectre, indeed.
And Signature.Trust were the aggressors there. It's not like Qualifiers went on them. Signature.Trust took the fight into them, so big misplays coming in. Qualifiers will be happy about that start.
The mid lane, 290 doing pretty decently already. Denies out from MyPro though, but even there between Invoker and the Death Prophet. But DP hits that level 3, so the Spirit Siphon's up to the 2 points. That's where things do become a little more difficult for the Invoker.
Yeah, but I think considering your first creep wave or 2 can be really rough against Death Prophet if you get that bad block, and MyPro had the creep wave on his high ground, so often you can zone an Invoker at level 1. But now that he's got the Forge Spirit up and has some CS to his name, this matchup should at least be a kind of even one.
Pauloson's being chased though, in deep, and this hasted jabs Earth Spirit. I didn't see the courier, so he's
Bottom
going to
rib
go
up.
for snipe, and yeah, you're right, there's HY going on Boombell. Another crush comes through, the Sunstrike, damage output's good, but the block in there, Jabs gets his body for that, and blocks up HY, so there's no chase coming in from Slardar.
Yeah. Got that kill. I don't know if Jabs' role made him tank the Sunstrike with the hero, but it was a nice play nonetheless, and
Nice little sidestep by HY, Jabs under the tower, there's no mana for a crush. I'll just be a backup there, but where's that? Epic Field and Thunderstrike. Pelosin feels strong enough to turn and fight this with a Fairy Fire. He is, and Pelosin won't even get taken down by Lakel's on the flip side either. So White Fries, great start for them already on this off lane.
this is a very bloody bottom lane. A lot of fighting and aggression from both sides, and HY Slardar has been kind of the key factor in that. He's really pushed his hero to the limits as far as being in lane, contesting farm, drawing aggro on himself, and then turning it around, like really surviving on these kind of small amounts of HP, but played it very well.
Aber up at top. Waveform's already down 5 seconds until it's up again, but he is having to try and skirt himself around the stump, and he's accomplished that, but Waveform, no!
Wouldn't have been enough damage on its own, and the right clicks, you never know if a Stout Shield proc or 2 will happen. And he juked the stun, because if he lands that Spirit directly on top of the Axe with the stomp, the boots may not be enough to juke it, but Axe saw the Spirit coming, and then he already kind of juked the Spirit before it was even cast.
Well, MyPro has his bottle up, and mid lane, completely even still, in fact. 290 is really doing an excellent job on this mid lane, dealing with the Death Prophet.
Yep. He's had to, I don't know if that's his first or second salve that he's using now, but I saw him ferry himself a salve very early on, so maybe he's partially doing it through buying extra regen. Yeah, he's pretty much only 100 net worth behind Death Prophet, so that's just like 1 salve usage.
Oh, Earth Spirit jabs. Orb of Venom, but no regen. 500 gold saved up for his brown boots, just waiting and biding his time for this roll in on somewhere. Could potentially kill the Invoker off. I mean, who's going to TP rotate in? You could look for the Disruptor to maybe try and let that one go. He is holding onto a teleportation scroll. He's still sitting down on this bottom lane with HY, Boombell. Vengeful Spirit, obviously a very squishy support hero, just trying to zone them out a little bit, but can't go too far in. Lakel's doesn't offer you a massive amount of zoning capability or any real killing power here onto the Slardar with, Spectral Dagger doing a measly amount of damage.
Well, it's going to do even less, because it'll do none against the raindrops.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So, a really nice pickup to have this early on in the lane, because anytime they want to go on you, you're blocking a big chunk of damage. 100 damage from the dagger, or 100 damage from the mid. Either one of these nukes is just being entirely negated.
Do nothing at all. Earth Spirit is still waiting for that go again, but just look at the positioning here of 290. He's always kind of keeping this line where he's close enough to retreat back towards this tier 1, making sure the Death Prophet can't get up on top of this ramp, using his Forge Spirit to just sort of harry him back a little bit more. But they can dive in under the tower either. It's a very risky proposition for them, especially now that Elder Titan's moved across. The Dire Observer Ward placed out. Radiant Observer as well from Jabs. He cut himself through these trees, making himself a nice little nest in there, and they'll see the rotations come across. They know Pelosin, both Chisbug are both around, and that Sentry Ward, unfortunately for them, that ward is very deep.
Nice Radiant Ward placement, getting it that deep. Jab's just lingering, waiting to see if anything comes towards his mid lane, knowing that he can't really get a kill even the Death Prophet nearby.
But now they know that the supports have moved back up towards the top lane. They know it's not going to be defense of this Invoker towards mid if they go for it. Axe has been allowed to farm a decent amount though. Tranquil Boots are ready. He's had time for quite some time, but Spirit's given up now, it looks like, on this mid lane. He's like, sod it, I'm going back down towards bottom lane. Bottom needs me a little bit more than you towards the mid.
Arbor gonna get scouted out by the Disruptor coming in and the ward planted, but he's farming quite well. 34 CS and decent amount of net worth, kind of matched up by the Slider at least of HYHY. He's not only farming well, but has levels on his offlane. Both offlaners farming levels.
What have we here?
Pretty even start as far as looking at like offlaners and mid, but it's the carries where there's a decent difference between the Morphling and Spectre's farm here early on.
The level 6 Slider with the amp damage. Jabs again with a nice little observer ward placed down. We'll see. Nice Polos and Disruptor move himself again, but Qualifier have just done this really great job at controlling all these lanes up. They're giving free farm to the Morphling, they're giving Slider this great laning stage down towards bot, and Invoker's doing an amazing job towards mid. What's Trust's plan? Is it just going to be that that 4-man group up once they have like a DP Veil and an Axe Blink?
They're gonna start by looking for a kill down bottom potentially?
They try onto HYHY, and with that roll in, the glimpse back will maybe save his life, but the stun comes across the two of them. The stick charge is out from HYHY, and he's incredibly tanky while Lakel's, you're right.
The amp just with the Disruptor right clicks was pretty be like. I feel like the next move should be... Oh...
Got him.
So good. Lakel's move should be telling... I think the better and easier kill is the Invoker. Send the Earth Spirit mid, Earth Spirit plus Venge, or even just one, like a Spirit Siphon with either a Venge stun or an Earth Spirit roll stun is enough to kill Invoker with a Spectre Haunt. And I think that's the hero that you go for, because he's got no escape. Exort Invoker, one of his big weaknesses is that he is very prone to getting picked off, and Spectre one of the better heroes to do that with. So I think they're making a mistake trying to pressure this bottom lane against a very tanky Slider. The raindrops, Stout Shield, Tranquil Boots make this Slider a very hard kill to get. And
the 7+5 armor, they're all will miss. The Haunt is there as well, and Lakel's goes into Plosive, but the Crush turns it back, and the Sunstrike onto Jabs is going to land, and the damage output from HYHY is going to be enough. They turn it again onto Lakel's. Can they get a second one? Crush won't land. The speediness of Lakel's with the phase boots. It's enough. Scrape away.
HYHY's like really sick Slider. And as well as credit to the Disrupt, Losin has been the kind of the 1-2 punch joined up with HYHY, and he's been the one kind of turning around the ganks, while HYHY has been the one baiting them in. So these two have been very good, the Singaporean duo in the off lane. And that's been really Signature.Trust's undoing here in the early game.
How do you do anything against a 13 armor Slider at 9 minutes in? 1,000
let's say, yeah, I got armor, you use magic damage, and that's where the raindrops counters you.
They've got limited magic damage as well. They don't have this kind of instant burst of anyone and lack of control, so they'll, you know, they've been listening to you gods. They're going to smoke up towards mid and look for this Invoker. I'm not sure if it's
no Haunt though. That's like
fast enough.
They still can kill him without Haunt because they've got both supports, but it's very difficult.
290, he's the aggressor in onto Mypro. The Ice Wall is dropped, but he is very firing up, and not enough to heal himself through the damage, but the turnaround HYHY has come in to kill, and he's got one looking for two, but Abba will force them back away from the Vengeful Spirit, and in the meantime, like a kill on the Earth Spirit up towards top lane for the Morphling all on his own.
And even without that Earth Spirit kill, the 1-for-1 mid I think overall is fine for White Price, because they've got their Morphling free farming top. Spectre came off the lane and isn't really getting anywhere near as much farm as the Morphling, so they're creating a ton of space for Morphling while Spectre's getting some farm, but really would like to be getting involved in kills. The Haunt. Just not happening.
Nice attempt again. The Glimpse not going to catch the Axe, but you can see their intentions there, just wanting to keep tabs on him as Abba does get closer to that Blink Dagger. 900 gold away from it now. While the Death Prophet towards the top lane. That Wizardry is there, so it looks like it's going to be the Yule's Rush. Kind of a deviation away from what I'm used to seeing anyway, which is the kind of Treads Veil build we've come to know and love from the European scene. But I guess against amp damage, against these kind of displacement abilities and all these annoying spells from Whitefries that are displacing you and holding you in place, the Yule Step is kind of necessary as that.
Oh, the sudden miss.
Slam into swap.
Still
got the stuns.
Yeah. They need to just spam ganks on mid lane. Anytime you have Haunt, theoretically, even without Haunt, they need to be going for these kills.
With all 5 heroes? Why not? Exorcism out for the tower as well, secure this tier 1.
If you've got Exorcism, you do 5 heroes because you get towers to follow it up. But without Exorcism, maybe you just do 3 or 4.
Dire's structures
But
are
with 5
fortified.
heroes, you'd love to follow a gank like that up with a tier 1.
In the meantime, Morphling takes the tier 1 down at bottom, and it looks like Whiteflies are defending their tower at mid. White, Glimpse, Static Storm, and there's the crush. The amp damage of the Mypro will likely secure this kill unless the Ghost can return, but it's not fast enough. And that Stomp keeps Trust at bay. Well, the amp damage does start flowing out onto these heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Very nice gank, and Morph is still just farming and even pressuring bottom tier 2 tower. So if you're seeing around this mid lane as Sig.Trust, worried about like a potential fight happening, then you've also got to worry about Morph. Let him continue to free farm and pressure your towers, but
He's nearly level 11, you know, he's like 500 experience off it. This is
he's 5.9k spec 3.
scary territory.
Yeah, this is looking quite bad for Sig.Trust here.
And then you're looking at the Slardar that's close to his Blink Dagger, just needs, you know, another minute and a half, 2 minutes to finish that one up. Plosen, Arcane Boots. Nice for your 5 roll and your 4 roll to be on par with each other in terms of net worth. They've got a good amount of gold between them. Is that Soul Ring done for the ET? It is indeed.
Axe's Blink will at least match up with the Slardars pretty nicely, so 1600 gold on Axe, and they need to start utilizing that, one of their major tools. But you look at Sig.Trust, they're very ulti dependent. They need to have Exorcism and Haunt up when they want to make those big plays, whereas Wi-Fi's Lamp is much more ready to go whenever.
Yeah, crush.
And they have like the damage to fight into a Death Prop. They're not scared of Exorcism if they have Slardar Blink Initiation, because they'll down the Death Prophet using Sunstrike.
Yeah, one of the big reasons I kind of thought the Veil would come out is not just the synergy with the Spirit Siphon and the Crypt Swarm, but also the armor you get from the Helm against the Invoker Forge Spirits and that amp damage. A little Death Prophet in a world of hurt if she gets caught out by any of these guys, because you know the low cooldown on Crush just allows Slardar to keep initiating over and over again onto multiple heroes, while the Blink on Axe often feels like more of a one and done kind of guy. You know, you jump in, you call, you get that one big initiation, and then you snowball the fight from there, while Slardar's more of an in and out guy.
Yeah.
Not the burger chain. By the way, it's very good. Had my first in and out burger the other day.
Oh, okay. They live up to the expectations, the hype.
It was a good burger. It was all right.
It's less about like being an amazing burger that blows your mind away. It's more about the cost to quality ratio.
Yeah,
like
for
as
sure.
far as cost to quality goes, In and Out is like probably #1.
Like they opened up Five Guys in England a couple of years ago, and I went to that, and it was like £12 for the burger and fries. And it's like I'm not flipping paying that.
It's good, but yeah, Five Guys is better quality than In and Out. But as far as cost goes, like
The Cajun fries at Five Guys were really good,
Yeah.
but I'm not paying 12 quid for a burger and chips. That's just not. I'm going to McDonald's. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have a Big Mac if I want a burger. It's not happening. I've tried a bunch of American food while I've been here. Actually, this is my second time in the US. My first was like a TI5, and I didn't have any time to like check out anything really. And I was talking to Grace, and I was like, I've never had a Twinkie before, and she was like, "You're not having a Twinkie. It's not allowed." And
did you get your Twinkie?
I got here, and the first thing she did was take me into the kitchen. And was like, "Right, don't tell anyone, but here's a Twinkie." Like, honestly, after like watching TV shows and movies where it's like the iconic, this is an American, brand and snack food, thinking, "Oh, it must be tasty. It must be really good."
That it just gets unhealthier from there. Wait till you're having like fried Snickers bars and things. And
I mean, that's a Scottish thing. That's like like an English thing.
Okay.
Deep fried Mars bars. That's something we invented.
Okay. Well, that's like a staple of Americans' food diets.
Oh, we apologise. We have increased your amount of diabetics, unfortunately. But I don't know. Twinkies just didn't taste of anything. It's like
I'm not a fan of Twinkies. A lot of the American sweets are kind of, I don't know.
It's just corn syrup in different forms, right?
It's all this artificial, like, it doesn't taste like the chocolate here. Even doesn't taste like real chocolate, you know. All right, mouse problems for
Americans, right?
Yeah, they don't do food very well. Not as bad as some countries. You live in Germany. I was about to say, speaking of not doing food, well, German food.
Oh my god, German food is pretty trash as well. I mean, I lived in Southeast Asia for like 6-7 years. I miss the food there. That is like the biggest thing I miss, like nasi goreng and nasi lemak.
And it's just like the
stuff
everyday, like day-to-day like street food or even just like casual food
Chicken
that's good.
satay.
Like you can get good food in LA. Like if you go in the city, go into like Chinatown or Koreatown or find something like the nice restaurants you can. But when you're like out in the suburbs, like the food is just all like your crappy chain restaurants and fast food, and that's why I mean like American food's not good, even though you can find good food. But whereas yeah, Southeast Asia is just amazing. Man,
Oh God, I'm hungry
let's
now.
relocate, Gareth. Let's have a new studio.
I might have to now we've bloody left the European Union, you know. Once I'm done in Berlin, I can't go back home to England. Just become a roaming stone.
We'll find you a nice Malaysian girl and you can settle down there or something, you know?
Go and settle down in Malaysia.
I'll ask Winter to introduce you to some.
Seems good. Seems good. I'm a nice guy. My Malay has deteriorated severely over the past like 4 years or something.
I see your Twitter. You know how to cook, babe.
Yeah. My curry is like 10 out of 10. See, Knoxville, the stats guy, he's living with me. He moved to Berlin a couple of months ago, and he was like, you know, big upping himself, saying, "Yeah, I love spicy food. I'm gonna cuck you, cuck.
Okay. Well, you're into that kind of stuff.
I'm going to cook you a curry, not cuck you a curry. Oh my goodness. He said, I'm going to cook you a curry, and he's like, it's going to be the spiciest thing you've ever had. And I was like, yeah, okay, bring it on. It was like a 4 out of 10. I cook him my curry. He's like, that's blown my freaking head off.
Okay.
Yeah. Slip of the tongue, gods. I didn't mean anything by it.
Sure. Sure.
I'm not as bad as
When
Toby.
you do it at home, we'll keep out of the cast.
Oh god.
Man, mouse problems in 2016. What is this?
I mean, this is like the first issue I think we've had, or at least I've had on stream for the.
SCA Dota used to be notorious for pauses. I love watching and following SCA Dota, but online matches, I mean even LANs, there'd just be like very long, painful pauses
because
of internet issues and.
I guess now a lot of teams have team houses, right? But back when they used to play from LAN cafes a lot, you know, one idiot knocks out the router or the power goes out in the net cafe, and it's just like, well.
And a lot of the like it used to be less so nowadays. It feels because they've got like they've set up their houses to avoid it, but like 3 different internet lines where if one's laggy, they'd swap to another, or if there's thunderstorms, like everyone would just be lagging because it's like, oh, there's thunderstorms, we're lagging. I'm like, what? Is that a thing?
That's how it works.
I don't lag when there's thunderstorms here in LA. Like, what's going on? But teams for most of the teams are much more established and set up because it's like you could lose a TI opportunity because you're lagging. Like you gotta avoid that shit.
I mean that's why, you know, MVP Mongols they go to, you know, Malaysia and Singapore to actually boot camp and play from there, because you get down to the nitty gritty and you don't want to be playing on 250 ping when you're playing for qualifiers for a multi-million-dollar tournament.
So Mongols in Singapore for this?
I'm not sure if they are here, but I know they have done in the past, and I kind of assumed that they've done the same thing again.
Yeah.
So I've not checked or talked to them.
Okay. It's like Tuetro's ready. And
well, back into the game.
So recap, Whitefry is looking very good. The offlane Slaughter Disruptor duo getting, I think, like 5 kills or something together, maybe 4 in the lane, and since then HYHY has almost finished the Blink Dagger.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, it's getting very close.
They can start taking some towers and objectives themselves. I mean, they're looking at Exorcism on cooldown for 80 seconds. That's one less threat to worry about. Same for Haunt. No Haunt, no Exorcism.
Yeah.
And they're looking to punish that back.
A level 4 Earth Spirit Gods.
Yeah, it's a bit rough. He's now got level 5. He gets the 2. But...
Oh, nice. Right. So often we look at these 4-roll heroes, actually. We'll wait for the Morphling. Come in from the side. Not sure if he got spotted. Oh, I think he did get spotted out there. The ping from Bubel. Yeah, no Morphling's over there.
They're trying to hit the stomp from afar, and Slaughter HYHY is even sprinting in from the side, but really off the mark. But it does again secures them the tier 1 tower. You're looking at objectives being taken, Whitefries, and it's the cooldown dependency of the Signature.Trust draft, which is of an issue for them.
Yeah, so often we look at these 4-roll heroes, you know, Bounty Hunter in the past, Ricky nowadays, Earth Spirit's also one that kind of goes into this, goes into the basket as well. They can do a lot during the laning stage, you know, they dominate lanes, they kind of win the first 10 minutes for you. But if things don't go well, the period of time now, there's a window where Jabs is kind of like, right, I've got to get to level 6, the Tome obviously helps out, but there's going to be this period where he either has to be hyperactive and look for a pick-off to get himself over that hump, and get into the mid-game and give him that kind of momentum to push forward, or you go back and try and leech experience from jungling, and right now he's sitting behind my pro, kind of playing very passively, but you lose out on the aggressive aspects of this Earth Spirit, which is obviously one of his greatest strengths.
Yeah, they've really slowed it down, but next Haunt is up, Exorcism as well. Signature.Trust really need to just go as a 4-man unit. Push out this top wave and smoke. They may just smoke even without pushing. Okay, it looks like Death Prophet will farm one less wave, but they need to go and get stuff done. Blink on Axe, all ultis up. Let's smoke, let's play, because if they're just sitting back, they're going to get out-farmed. Morphling is already out-farming.
Oh yeah, pretty massively, honestly. HY is actually hidden this Blink Dagger on the courier by the tier 1 down the bottom lane and buys a TP off to the side, so it can be expected. Trust think, right, he has his Blink Dagger around now and can adapt and adjust accordingly, but if they smoke up like this, it will always be a surprise to you, and they're going to be smoking into a smoke of Trust as well.
They don't
It's
have
going to
Death
be
Prophet.
huge as HY into the Roche pit. He goes for the Blink call. Aber catches the two of them, and in comes the Earth Splitter down from the high ground, and Aber Sunstruck down to the Oblivion, not even fast enough as the two drop from Signature.Trust and DP. Hot retreats on over the side. It's 3 down. Lakells had haunted herself into the mix of the battle, and this is going to be an easy Roshan for White Prize.
They make that play without Death Prophet and no tier 1 tower, so there's no towers nearby for Death Prophet and TP towards, so I think the big mistake from Signature.Trust, I think you can get away with a 3-man smoke, because this is a stage of the game where you expect that smoke to come in. White Prize are going to play grouped up. Also, HY, the Blink Dagger, he wants to kind of go with his teammates and take a fight, so if you find like a 3v3 like that, it favors White Prize, even with the Spectre Haunt in, because they have the numbers and there's no Death Prophet scared of.
And even with the Slardar blinking past the enemies into the Roche pit and then having to walk back into the fight as well.
I mean, it was a good call and everything, but
yeah.
Elder Titan was there, had the stomp to prevent Axe getting a... If he gets that first Culling Blade off an Invoker, which he's low enough to do, it could be like a maybe 50-50 fight, but that's like best scenario. That's if everything goes right. There's no scenario where I see Signature.Trust winning that fight unless Death Prophet smokes with them.
So this Exorcism level 11 is coming up soon for my pro. They've really got to utilize these as often as they can to take objectives. Tier 1 mid probably going to be the big call for them as the next one. Well, we did see the Lincolns picked up 16-minute Lincolns Aquila treads for the Morphling, 8,000 net worth. That's a great little foot up for him.
Meanwhile, Lakells has Aquila face boots and 600 gold.
Some money,
there, but
some money.
and he's almost got
It's not a hedge fund, but
half of Link's overall net worth.
that's great. It's like a little piggy bank.
Yeah.
Not really what you want to be doing, as HY wants to continue utilizing this Blink Dagger for himself. Smoked again with Pelosin, they've got the Static Storm Crush combination onto whichever target they want to go for, and honestly, Morphling has been left bottom lane all on his lonesome with no one defending this tier 2. It's kind of obvious that Trust are preparing themselves for a tier 1 push up on top lane, which is all being pinged out here by the Dire Trident, which is why Invoker is actually sitting behind in the trees.
Yeah. You can just keep using these Forward Spirits to defend if he wants to, although... And with an Aegis, they can't really commit to that kill, because it's not a kill for one thing, and then the TP's in will punish you, so... Very risky position for Signature.Trust to be in, where they see this hero defending the tier 1 tower they're going for, and they can't even initiate on him. Only that lone defender gets punished. That's why you see most teams in that scenario, this hero would just TP out and ditch the tower, but...
Oh, Sunstrike into Cold Snap, they got him! Really great play by 290. Abacalim's back into his death as well, and even with the raindrop, White Prize, great reactions come in to defend the tier 1 after taking down the tier 2 at bottom lane.
So much right now. They're actually playing very good.
I mean, this is... I don't want to say perfection, but it's very close to.
Yeah. I mean, so much goes back to that bottom safe lane disaster for Signature.Trust, where they just played way too aggressive, even in a 3v2 lane, and losing that 3v2 is big no-no. And they just made the wrong calls. They really kind of pushed it when they shouldn't have, and...
Yasha.
Kells, yeah, Yasha, this is like, I mean, the Manta against Slaughter is kind of nice later on, but giving up your Radiance stream for now.
I mean, Manta style's good on Lakells, but when you're being carried out by HY over on the Slardar, blink in 2 seconds time, and with the glimpse a bit further back, nice little jump by Lakells, completely outplaying, and again, once across to another illusion. Outplays HY and Pelosin, who really had his number in that one.
It's like an outplay, but guess what? It's like, it saves your life, but it doesn't progress you, yeah.
It's a wasted haunt, you're not getting anything out of it. And I'm going to try the Sunstrike back onto the Axe, but this Aegis will allow 290 to pop himself back into the land of the living. He doesn't even... Ooh, there we go, the final hit comes out, but an Earth Splitter with a Static Storm. Mypor used into the air, and Slardar finishes off one, and this Death Prophet, not long for this world, and Axe has to blink away This is a devastating state of affairs for Signature.Trust as they are being marauded by White Fries. One after another, the chasing power is continual. And this dire side, honestly, 2 to 14 currently, 19 minutes in, 11,500 net worth on your Morphling. They're pushing high ground gods, and I do not see a way for Trust to stop this.
Oh, this is brutal. And you've got Spectre, who's not in fighting shape. But X isn't, but the Death Prophet squishy to fight. One Blink Crush just instantly melt. The Elder Titan making everyone squishier as well, so a tier 3 tower, they don't really care about taking right out. Like Morphling's just sitting on his Linken's Yasha, normally this is a hero that takes another item or two to really come online, but
It's level 14.
this is brutal.
He's got over that level 11 hump, and he's doing incredibly well while a Hand of Midas for Chizbugs picks up, he sells it.
Changes his mind.
Okay.
I guess they want to go for like a fight now item, maybe a Lads or something, but
Oh, the full
mech,
mech,
yeah.
fair enough, dude. Okay.
That's the team. His team's probably like, nah, we can win now, rather than.
And a Glimmer Cape on Disruptor. All of these items that just enable them to, again, outmaneuver and outplay the Signature.Trust lineup as they siphon up towards the top tier 1, and it's something that they really have to try and do is, you know, gain and garner some kind of advantage on the map, get these tier 1s. It's just, yeah, it's gold in the pocket for your supports at the lowest level of this, but it's also just trying to open the map up so you have at least one extra bit of area to farm, where Spectre can maybe, you know, farm an extra large camp, an extra medium camp, just little things like that mean so much for Trust at this period of time.
Yeah.
And I really like the Yules pick up Invoker. It's kind of like that pub flashy item, but this is one of those games where heroes like Spectre are very vulnerable to this. And having that kill threat by yourself is going to go a long way as far as stopping Trust from trying to catch up by just farming the map on the kills.
The lane's being pushed in though by White Fries, bot and mid, and it's only the one up at top trying to continue this, but Lakel's is all alone here, doesn't have the safety net. The heroes behind him. Full control of the Radiant jungle for White Fries.
Yeah, he's...
And probably next Roshan. Does he go for the full Manta? He's picked up Ultimate Orb, right?
I think you need to. If you try, Radiance will come super late, and even when you hit that Radiance, Yasha Radiance, like you're squishy then. You still have maybe 1200 HP at that point. You get a few more levels and get some stats, but this Manta will just give him that little bit of extra survivability. Like a Yasha Radiant Spectre will just get solo killed by an Invoker. This is more of a secure way to play this game, but say secure, you're playing from a huge deficit. 20k gold lead. 21 minutes in, roughly.
When your Death Prophet's the one buying smokes, you know things are going poorly, honestly. Ogre Club is picked up, trying to get to that BKB now. Not really the normal item progression that you need, but this is an adaptation my pro has realized he needs to make. Keep himself alive in these fights, and now Trust, they finally get outside of their base and place some wards down, but spotted every step of the way by the mid lane ward and this jungle ward here from the dire side. They know exactly where Trust are. Every single hero. They've watched them go to the jungle. They're watching them come out of the jungle now.
Well, that in mind, sure.
I don't know Jabs is here though. I'm actually pinging onto that Invoker. I don't know if he's pinging saying that's not the real one, but kind of interesting actually. The Morphling replicate, you see the orbs, but Invoker and illusions you don't.
I don't know what's up with that.
Valve, please.
You know, the whole point of Dota, Dota's never had anything consistent.
Everything's an exception to a rule.
Yes, there's exceptions still. All kinds of things, and unique cases are plenty.
Do we have any big meaningful items coming out from the Radiant side? I mean, we talked about the Manta, we've seen a blink on the Axe, but really the two supports on the Radiant not really got too much to their name, while Morphling is now making his way very quickly towards the E-Blade, and we see there the Slaughter has a BKB fully completed.
I think it's more about the items coming for White Fries, which is going to be the Ag Scepter on Invoker, the next Aegis, the Morphling Ethereal Blade, which is I thought it was going to go for this second just because the pick-off, the burst is good against Death Prophet, more about instant pick-off, turning into a 5v4 is what gives you the opportunity to push high ground. Like when you're ahead, an item like Ethereal Blade is better. An item you don't want a shotgun Morphling playing from behind, but if you're playing from ahead, having that punish where you can just get kill after kill on underfarmed squishy supports or even squishy Death Prophets. Axe isn't that tanky when you look at his itemization. Morphling can really just shine, so...
The Radiant Courier was heading towards the secret shop, and it had Axe's broadsword on it. That was his blade mail completed, but I'm struggling to figure out who was sending it there. Maybe it was Earth Spirit trying to... I don't know.
Booster? Yeah.
He's got his Tranquil Boots, like he's not going to go for Arcanes, but regardless, White Prize removed the blade mail and a massive amount of damage output that Trust could potentially hand back into their faces with that one, and there's a big old loss there for Trust as Abba scouted out by these illusions, but he'll just take in the ancient stacks while Roshan has respawned, of course, and this is something that Fries can quite easily just take control of mid and bot again, keep pushing these lanes out with Morphling Illusions making a nice little trip up towards the tier 3 bottom lane, and Boombell has to address this and deal with it. They will go into the Roche pit, and Trust don't feel safe at all moving themselves across the map to there. They're just going to try and keep farming through.
And really, they shouldn't feel safe anywhere. There's so much kill potential out of a Yule's Eggs on Invoker, catch from Disruptor,
as well.
Yeah, it's uglier and uglier.
20k net worth lead, 25 minutes in. No, it's not the 1k per minute, but it's
close.
It's pretty devastating, honestly. But Trust, this is not the way they want it to go through. Especially so close to the end of this group stage. There are a couple of games remaining for both of these teams, but Whitefry is really a statement of intent here as they want to progress themselves through and get that placement finished, get into the playoffs, and get themselves potentially the direct invite for that wildcard spot.
Whitefry's
slow and steady.
Yeah, they're not going to take too many big risks here. I think they can probably feel that this game is going at a good pace for them. They've got the decent duration on the Aegis. Wait for the Ethereal Blade, wait for the pickoffs to come your way, and recognize that Lakel's going for this Manta style isn't going to become a huge nuisance with a Radiance. He's not going to farm as fast, and that's the thing. Like, you get this item, it helps you fight, it makes you a little bit scarier now, but it doesn't increase your farming rate by having a Radiance, for example. So
okay,
Lakel's is not going to become a super late game issue, but with the Ethereal Blade, Aegis, Morphling, you find a pick off, you break racks.
I mean, this Morphling is honestly absolutely monstrous.
Oh, he's more than the problem now.
He is the problem. The Alpha, the Omega. He is the creator and destroyer of worlds here against Signature.Trust. I don't know what they can do to handle this. Vengeful Spirits by tier 4 is like, nah guys, I'm not going anywhere near that. He's going to just insta-kill me with the E-Blade. And, well, Glyph is popped, racks are dead, and Exorcism comes out, then call back on the Chizbug. They've got some damage down, but the E-Blade is down. The stun not going to connect to anyone. The Slugs storm out. HY stands his ground, and Lakel, the Spectre does no damage. With my pro gone, there's no ghost. And Signature.Trust are just dragged back into oblivion by the Disruptor. One by one they fall, and White Prize, I think, might have finally ended this game, and in fact they have. GG is called, and that has to be one of the most lopsided stomps I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's great showing from White Prize. Solid draft. Morphling pick I was a little worried about with the Invoker, but when you win the lanes as hard as they did, Morphling had a free farm safe lane, Axe was just straight up jungling, which is kind of like okay, because you want to just give your Axe the jungle and focus on winning the other two lanes, but by having Disruptor bottom, White Fries managed to win that lane. Earth Spirit committed to